The majority of AP exams are now in a digital format. This video gives an overview of what test day looks like for fully digital AP exams, both for students using Bluebook and for proctors using Test Day Toolkit. And be sure to download and follow along in the AP Proctor Exam Day Guide. Before exam day, the AP coordinator will set up Test Day Toolkit, the web application used to administer digital exams. In Test Day Toolkit, coordinators create rooms and add and assign staff as proctors and room monitors. When the AP coordinator adds a staff member, the staff member will receive an access email. Proctors should follow the steps in the email. To confirm and accept the terms, and to access a preview of Test Day Toolkit screens they will see on exam day. Proctor preview screens include an orange border. Click the yellow button to review the instructions, the script you will read, the screens you will use to view the student roster and mark students present, and the screen you will use to monitor testing and dismiss students. Note that as a preview, you won't see the student roster or any student data. On exam day, AP coordinators will grant school staff full access to Test Day Toolkit and ensure that all required materials are available in the exam room, including a copy of the AP Proctor Exam Day Guide. Proctors should arrive before students and sign in to Test Day Toolkit with their College Board account. If you are proctoring multiple AP exam administrations, you will need to choose the exam. Click the Help menu to access helpful proctoring tips. On exam day, proctors use Test Day Toolkit to confirm the room is ready for testing, take attendance, communicate instructions, and monitor progress. Begin room setup by confirming the room capacity, seating arrangement, required spacing, that no chairs are positioned against the wall, and that all students face either the same direction or the wall. Then, check your room supplies and distribute 2 pieces of scratch paper on each desk. For these 3 fully digital exams, you will also distribute a printed reference information booklet to each student. Notify your AP coordinator if supplies are missing or damaged. If you're proctoring AP Computer Science Principles, you should have a printed personalized project reference sheet, also known as a PPR, for each student. Give students their PPR as they enter the room or once they're seated. Next, test the internet connection in the room by connecting to the Wi-Fi and going to collegeboard.org. Finally, write student instructions and the room code on the board so students can get started on their own as soon as they sit down. The room code is unique to the testing room and must not be shared before exam day. After writing the instructions on the board, set up a place and prepare to collect any prohibited devices students bring into the exam room. Room setup is complete. Proctors can now open the door and invite students into the exam room, check the identity of any students they don't know, and help them get seated. Once students sit in their seats, they should power up their testing device and follow the instructions the proctor wrote on the board. Students begin Bluebook check-in by clicking the star icon to open Bluebook, signing in using their College Board student account, and clicking the yellow Check-in Now button on the exam card. Students continue the check-in process by confirming their personal information, reviewing and accepting the AP exam terms and conditions, confirming their device information, entering the room code the proctor has written on the board, and then the exam is downloaded to the student's device. Once the download finishes, students complete the check-in process in Bluebook. In Test Day Toolkit, proctors move to the Take Attendance screen to take attendance and oversee the check-in process. Once students are seated in the room, proctors read the student announcement. As students enter the room code and join the room, their names appear in the entered room code list, and directions are available. Proctors mark students physically present in the testing room as present. This is an important security measure. Do not click the Mark Present button unless the student is physically in the room. Students must be marked present before they can begin the exam. As proctors take attendance, students continue the check-in process in Bluebook by typing a security pledge, getting their desks ready, watching a short silent video for an overview of the tools, and reading an overview of the exam. The last check-in step informs students that their device will be locked when the exam starts. When students see the Start Code screen, they're ready to begin the exam. They will wait on this screen for the proctor to give instructions and share the code. As students complete app check-in, their names move to the Ready to Test list. When the names of students in the room have moved to the Ready to Test list, proctors should proceed to the final steps and read aloud the exam directions to students. Proctors begin by reading the welcome script, the desk check script, and performing a final check and collecting any prohibited items. Then, reading aloud policies about the break, unscheduled breaks, and accommodations. Proctors can scroll down the page to access the student roster if a student started a little later than the others, and they need to mark them present. Next, proctors read aloud the final instructions for starting the exam and ask if students have questions. Finally, proctors read aloud the Start Code and write it on the board. Do not give out the Start Code until you are ready for students in the room to begin testing. The Start Code is unique to the exam and the room. Click the Next Step button to begin monitoring students taking the exam. Students enter the Start Code in Bluebook, and their exam begins. When students enter the Start Code, timed testing begins. Their testing status in the dashboard changes from Not Started to Section 1. Proctors monitor students by walking around the room observing and using the dashboard to monitor their progress. Proctors can use filters to identify students who haven't started the exam, are behind the other students, or are having an issue. If you see any students with an exited status, check their device immediately to make sure it's open and students are using it properly. Once students start their exam, a countdown timer indicates the time remaining in the section. Students can hide the timer if they wish. When time for Section 1 expires, students automatically move to the break, and a break timer begins counting down. The monitoring dashboard shows proctors when students are on their break. When the scheduled break between sections ends, students review the Section 2 directions, and when ready, click the Resume Testing button to begin Section 2. If there are students who do not begin the next section on their own, discreetly prompt them to do so. Students move to Section 2 and start writing their response. They can use the question menu to move ahead or go back to a previous question. Students do not submit their answers when they're done. They should check their work or wait patiently until the timer runs out. When the time for the last section expires, the exam ends, students' answers are submitted, and students see the congratulations screen. When testing time ends for all students, proctors should check the Test Day Toolkit dashboard to confirm that the students' answers have been submitted, and collect all exam materials and booklets. Follow guidance in the AP Proctor Exam Day Guide if any students have a status other than submitted. Then, click the Next Step button and dismiss students whose status shows submitted following the dismissal instructions. Consult the AP Proctor Exam Day Guide for guidance on reporting any issues. When all students have been dismissed, proctors log out of Test Day Toolkit and let the AP coordinator know the room has finished testing. Test Day Live is a new monitoring screen within Test Day Toolkit that gives coordinators real-time visibility into student progress across testing rooms. From this view, coordinators can monitor all students on the exam roster as they arrive and check into Bluebook. Students move to the Ready to Test status after they enter the room code and are marked present and reach the Start Code screen. Coordinators can apply filters to display students in a specific status. For example, those who have not yet begun checking in. Once students enter the Start Code, they move to Started Testing and to Submitted Answers when time expires at the end of Section 2 and Bluebook submits their responses. Thank you for your attention. Please carefully review the AP Proctor Exam Day Guide, Troubleshooting Guide, and resources on AP Central for additional information.